All right, the watch list for February 2nd, which will be Tuesday. First, I threw this quote up there because this was shared with me by TDB on Twitter. Really nice guy. And this was literally the best thing I've ever read to refute the mindless Bernie Sanders crowd that thinks, hey, we get all this stuff for free and it's just free and life's going to be easy. So, anyway, that's the best thing I've ever read. So, pause the video and finish reading it if you want, or email me and cuss me out for putting that on there. But I'm not sure how you can refute that. And I see it happening in front of our very eyes. Thousands of young people just thinking, hey, free lunch, free lunch, free lunch. That's not how life works. True friend inspires you to get off your dead ass and do something, which is why I wrote this. And I think this might be worth a read too. It's certainly not as well written as Adrian Rogers, but I think that's worth a read as well. All right, enough of that. I know I'm going to get so many people cussing me out. I've peeved so many people on Twitter. My wife always says, "Hey, leave that stuff out of it. You're running a business." I said, "Well, I can't help it. I'm literally watching things deteriorate before my eyes. So I'm going to use my pathetic little platform and say my piece when I can." And here's the SPY. It's holding up very well after breaking out of this week long range. It certainly seems like it needs to come in a little bit. Because it's made a pretty big move in a pretty short period of time. There it is on 2 days, just kind of a slow grind up for 2 days in a row. But I think I have some decent stuff to watch for Tuesday. NEOS had a gap up on pretty big volume a few sessions ago, and then down, down, and down again, almost at a gap fill already. I think this is a good setup for a potential bounce play. All right, anytime you get that all of a sudden the stock gets noticed and then you're down a few days. Sellers have done pretty well, and I think they might start to cover if we get any kind of intraday strength. So that's one. I want to watch Weight Watchers again, WTW. I still like this big 2-day move, and it's starting to find support just above 12. Here it is on 15-minute candles. You kind of picture. And then this might just break to the downside too, which is why I'm a day trader, right? I log in every day trying to make some money based on charts. If they don't meet what I'm looking for, I just don't trade them. But, like I said, I look at this, and then it could easily go either way, as could any stock. While we're sleeping. So that's why I'm a day trader. But I do like the fact this is holding above 12. And again, going back to 15-minute candles, this made a really nice move, whatever this was, 4 or 5 sessions ago, and then a nice follow through at the open the next day. And now we're, like I said, we're finding support in this area. I think this is a good candidate for a push higher. So keep Weight Watchers on watch. SDPI, low float, huge move. On Friday, and then on Monday, which was today, pulled in nicely on lower volume. A lot of times, especially with this pulling in, a lot of times the next day this can go right back up. So I want to watch this one. That's SDPI. TMST, kind of the same thing. Big move on Friday and kind of a more quiet inside day today. A lot of times the third day it gets going. NSR, big move. 2 days lower on declining volume, but that was a massive move actually, right here. All the way from, let's see, the low of the day here was 22.23 and went all the way up to almost 27, and you've got a lower high the next day and a lower high today. The last 2 sessions it has not broken its 15-minute high. What I'd like to see is a quiet 15-minute high and then an afternoon high of day break, but there could be other scenarios that will trade this too. That is NSR. NHTC. This one had a big volume day this day, and you kind of have a little cup and handle. It's been going sideways really for, I don't know, a week and a half. So this is a kind of a handsome looking chart if it can break up over these recent highs. 2077, today's high, 2077, 2078, 28, up in the 2080s, I would say. Up in the 2080s, this one might end up making a move back up toward the high of this big pop here. Again, I'll switch to 60s and show. So this was the big move to whatever I said it was, 2330, and now a nice little sideways base or flag underneath that. So I like it up in the 2080s. Might just rip above that. There you can see it on 15-minute candles, right? So pretty clean setup. Keep your eyes on NHTC, SIEN. SIEN. This one's just a handsome chart. You've got a very, nice consolidation here. You can also say maybe a cup and handle right there. This high right here was 889. This high 890. So today's high 857. Friday's high 870. So you can see if we can break out over this area, this one might just rip higher. Now, a lot of times in my videos I'll mention, and I stand by this, that I really like to trade stuff that's had recent very high relative volume. You don't really have that here. I mean, you had it, maybe 3 weeks ago on the gap up, but it sold off. So that makes me like this one a lot less, so keep that in mind. All right, INVT, you could make the same argument here. You've had some big volume spikes here, here, and here, but now it's just settled in. And like today, only traded 80,000 shares. So you don't have, again, what I look for, my favorite ingredient, recent high relative volume. And when I say recent, I really mean in the last 4 or 5 days, all right? So you have to go back almost a month. That makes me like this a lot less. It's still worth having on a chart, but I don't love it, all right? AMDA, huge move for 2 days. Looked like it was going to roll over, and it's right back up again today. So this one's interesting over 3. So keep your eyes on AMDA tomorrow, all right? It's a very low float stock. As you can see, can really move nicely at times. Lumber Liquidators had a huge intraday move. News that they sort of settled and decided on a fine, which was only, I thought I read like $10 million, which doesn't seem like a lot when you consider how beaten up this stock is. All right, but it did give back a huge chunk of this move. It ran and then got halted, which is always annoying. Then it opens here, sells off, and then rips higher. And then just pretty much straight sideways in the afternoon. So this is just kind of a watch, right? I'm going to see if it gives some kind of low risk, long setup, but don't love that one either. And then EYEG certainly extended in the short term. I'm pretty sure it's a low float. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's like 7 million in the float, so a very low float. So maybe a red to green in that one tomorrow. Although it looks like in after hours it's up to like 425. So. This is an example of one, biggest volume ever, right? You can see looking at the chart. This is an example of when you want to keep on watch for the next 5 to 7 days, all right? I don't know that tomorrow is the day to trade it again, but later in the week or Monday, Tuesday next week, you might get a really nice setup. So that's it. That's actually more than I'm comfortable watching, and then hopefully we'll catch some nice gappers in the morning as well. All right, I'll leave it at that. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.